This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff. So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the forward tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline, throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon. So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, hits to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the forward tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline, throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good! Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Not True. And I swear to you, I'm back this time, man. I'm really here in the flesh. I think I got everything going. I think you guys can hear me. All right. So we should be ready to rock and roll. Let me see if my man Wayne is here. Let me, there he is. He's back there somewhere. Wayne Breezy.
What's good, bro?
Not a motherfucking right now. Nothing. Absolutely nothing is good right now. Everything that could not work, stop working right then and there.
Are you serious?
I don't even know how you on right now, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yo, it's funny because
it's just sometimes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just weird, but I can hear you.
What's weird?
It's like a little lag, and you're blurry.
And I'm blurry, huh?
So are you?
That is so funny because on my end,
go to your settings and then change the camera. Probably. Oh, you got us on 480? Ilk. It's got to be something with the settings. Go to your audio.
Right. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. How is that?
You still sound like you're talking on the computer mic, which you probably are. But I know you got your stuff hooked up. Listen, it's okay. This happens.
I'm about to end the whole show.
No. Listen, my power literally came back on as I was telling you. It was estimated to come on at 9 p.m. Like I was in mid-text saying, "Yo, there you go. That's much better. Now talk."
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.
All right, so your camera looks better, but your mic still sounds like you're on. I'm
on my phone now, so I went from tablet 1 to tablet 2 to now my cell phone.
Oh, your cell phone is perfect then.
Well, that's what I'm on now. So
yeah, that's perfect. We can rock. Let's do it, baby. What's going on?
I want to play my goddamn intro music and stuff. Did any of that play? How long you been waiting?
For about 3 minutes.
Did the people in here? You know what? No, they getting this intro song. Hold on.
No. Don't do that to them. You already started the show. It's okay, Mike. It's all right.
Oh my God, yo!
Yeah, don't do that to them. They've been waiting. They've been talking trash in the chat the whole time, talking about you doing all these other podcasts and everybody else. You forgot how to start your own show.
Yo, I don't even want to do the show no more. I don't even.
They need to hear from us, bro. We ain't been together in a minute. They want to get our takes. They know you got the juicy takes on the pressers. They want to hear what we got to say.
All right. So the Niners reported to training camp today. Let's start.
A quick 45-minute show.
Let's start with who did not show up first. Let's start with who did not show up.
Okay.
And that was Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Were you expecting Nick Bosa to show up today?
I actually thought Nick Bosa would show up but not participate.
So like a lock-in type of thing.
Yeah, like more of a lock-in.
Or hold-in. I think they call it
hold-in. It's a hold-in.
Yeah.
So I actually thought he was, but I'm not surprised that he didn't, if that makes any sense. You know, this is what players do, right, Mike? This is, but
I'm not a player. I just crush a lot.
Hey, big Punisher. But here's the thing. Will he get the same smoke Deebo Samuel got and all these other players that hold out?
And that's what I'm here for right now.
Let's go! Do I know Mike or do I know Mike?
It starts with expectations. Nick Bosa, all off season, all last year, they asked him about his contract. I'm not worried about that, guys. The money's going to come when it comes. I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. My age, I have good people that take care of that. The team has made me feel like they want me here. It's going to be okay. I'm not worried. I'm just going to show up and do my job. And the first opportunity you get, you don't show up to do your job. You set these expectations, Nick Bosa. Not me. Not me. Listen, it was to the point where Kyle Shanahan they asked him, they were like,
I wouldn't show up. That's right. What he said.
He didn't even let them let John Lynch think about it. He was like, would you expect him to? I wouldn't. Like, he cut him off. Like, nope, I wouldn't expect him. Nobody expects him to. No one expects him to step foot on that field and participate without a new contract. That's cool. But you talked all this shit in the offseason. Where are those words now? Why are you doing this? I was so excited. I was so happy. I was hoping that Nick Bosa showed the league the right way to negotiate new contracts. So much so, I believe I even put it in the group chat this morning. I believe I even said, I can't check my text message now because I'm on the fucking phone doing a show, but it's cool. But I'm pretty sure I said it in the text message this morning that this is a real opportunity to show people how they can negotiate, and you don't have to use these stupid ass tactics that people are doing, like taking the team out of your bio and liking pictures and other jerseys and all that stuff. And he turns around and he starts with the same stupid stuff anyway. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed in Nick?
I'm disappointed in my own expectations. I was excited for someone to show the league how to negotiate.
But you know what's funny? Because at the end of the day, like, there was a portion in the back of my mind that said Nick, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick doesn't show up. But because of the type of character, I thought and expected him to be there. So, and now let's just talk about what today was. Today was simply, physicals, a little conditioning, things like that. Getting, meetings, things like that. Tomorrow's the out there. There we go.
You okay?
Yeah. It's just that our stuff is like the technology world. Elon Musk is effing everything up right now. You look like
the universe doesn't want us to bring this show.
I feel like you're looking like Max Headroom right now, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I don't even know who that is. You saying I got a big head?
No, you don't remember Max Headroom? Never mind. It was a computer. It was a futuristic computer thing back in the 80s or 90s. Anyway, your junk is pixelated. Like I can't even tell what you're doing right now.
Are you serious?
Yes, you did something.
Well, I think I'm clear. I feel clear on my end.
You're not.
And MTV.
Well, maybe you're clear because I'm looking at the live feed, and you do look clear. But for me, you don't look clear. But anyway,
they said now Wayne is frozen.
I'm frozen.
Oh wait, Max Headroom was the dude from the video game. Like, it was something about TV or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. All right, so go ahead, go finish your thought. So today was just about physicals, you were saying.
Yeah, today was just a physical day. They were going to get some conditioning in. They were going to see which guys are going to go on the PUP and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like that's pretty much what today was. Not necessarily a full-blown type of a practice. Now, tomorrow will be that full practice. It's going to be interesting to see if he shows up. But you heard John Lynch say he doesn't expect him to be at the beginning of camp. So we won't see Nick Bosa at all this week, in my opinion.
And so, again, logistically, I understand it. This is the same stuff I said about Debo last year. I said, or the year before. I said, I understand why these players do it. That don't mean I have to like it. So I didn't expect Bosa to step foot on the field for any kind of physical activity without a new contract.
I agree.
But why not show up for the physical, man? It's just the physical.
It's just the physical. And it's not. You know what? It's more than just the physical. It's getting with your teammates. Breaking bread, all that good stuff. Which, Fred Warner, said, "Hey, man, he expects Bosa to come into camp in tip-top shape." Which we all know he's going to do that. But just being there on the first day of the initiation, you know what I'm saying? Today was not the day for the rookies. Rookies reported last week.
Yeah, rookies were last week. That's correct.
Yeah, so they got their conditioning in earlier last week. This was the first day of the veterans and the coaches. Remember, the coaches couldn't practice last week either, just the rookies. So this was the day that everybody else came together. Tomorrow will be the day that, the fans get to go and check out the first open practice. So tomorrow's the first open practice.
All right. So let's get to who was there today that maybe surprise some people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Our guy, quarterback Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man. I I wasn't surprised because it just seemed that he was going to be good to go. The way he was recovering, the little things they were letting slip out. We got those pictures and those of him from Valerie V photography. Looked like him working out. They dropped yesterday, literally, and then today, you're getting the stuff to where like Brock Purdy, he recovered well. Now they did, they asked Kyle Shanahan that's so much better. They asked Kyle Shanahan 2 or 3 times, Mike, does he still have the velocity? Does he still have the zip on the ball? And the responses were, from what they know, what they've seen from the top of the window, he can still zip a ball or whatever. So we're gonna see, can Brock Purdy make the throws? Now, I do want to make a little clarification about Brock Purdy. John Lynch did say he was clear, he was good to go, he was cleared to practice. In my opinion, he's basically cleared to play. I know it's different, but he's quarterback one. That's what I got out of this, from the presser from the two, that he's the guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just what I got.
So I sincerely enjoy the fact that Brock Purdy is healthy,
okay,
ahead of schedule, and we are going to get a real quarterback competition.
Now, see, Mike, I have an issue because I tweeted that because I felt like what you said was the way I felt when I put out a tweet, and then here comes the negative responses. Well, he already made Brock Purdy quarterback one. Didn't you listen to what Kyle said? He also said that things can change. Did you listen to that part? I'm just curious. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't
cool.
get it.
Hey, do you by chance have a way of playing audio from YouTube on the show right now?
I believe so. Yes.
Can you pull up Kyle and John Lynch's presser? I'm going to talk, but I want you to go to the very first question about Brock Purdy. So it's like the second or third question asked in the thing. So you find it on your end. If you got to go on mute, I will buy us time. So here's the thing. There's nothing negative about what you said. It's all about shitty, suggestive questions, right? If you listen to the way the questions were asked today, so the first question was, will Brock get the first team reps? Mm-hmm. And Kyle said, and I quote, yes, when he's out there, right? And then the other Matt comes in and asks a question, and he says it this way. So when Brock's not out there, I'm assuming the other guys, Sam and then Trey, will alternate. But he said Sam first. There is a reason they are asking these questions this way, and it's downright disrespectful. It is downright disrespectful for them to still be suggesting that it's either not a competition between Purdy and Lance, or that Sam Darnold has somehow leapfrogged Trey Lance. It makes absolutely no sense about that. And nobody else is going to say it. I'll be the person to say it. It's the way they're asking these questions. It's not so much John and Kyle. Hey, y'all going to sit here and tell me who quarterback one is? Fine. I'll just answer your questions based off of that. That's what they're doing. Specifically, Kyle. You want to sit here and say, oh, well, since Purdy's quarterback one, is he going to get all the starts? Yeah, when he's out there. He's not going to say, I never said he was quarterback one. He's not going to say that. He's done doing that.
Well, he did come out and talk about the rotation and that he'll be on for 1 day, I think off for 2 days. So it's going to be like a 3-day rotation. So he did come out, Kyle Shanahan did come out and say, Purdy did today. So tomorrow will be Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, and they'll split the reps with the ones and the twos. And then on that third day, which will probably be Sunday, then Brock Purdy might roll again with the ones and get all the reps. That he did break that down. Does that mean anything?
It's how they ask the questions.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to know if you could find the exact spot. I heard you playing something in the background over there.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure you could hear it. Can you share my screen? Because I was trying to share the screen, and I don't think it.
Let's see. Did you already hit share?
I did, but for some reason it's not letting me add.
Actually, I can. Boom. I got it.
Okay.
Look at me with some controls. Hold on now. Let me do the 3 screen. Let me change the background. It's going to take me a while because I'm on my phone, but y'all bear with me.
We in there like swimwear.
Wop, mama, loom, wop, bam, boom.
Tutti fruity.
Oh, Rudy.
The 49ers, breaking news, have signed. What do you think they signed?
A defensive lineman. I don't know.
They signed cornerback Terrence Mitchell to a 1-year deal, and they placed punter Mitch Wishnowsky on the active NFI list.
That's okay. So when the pressers started, John Lynch is saying he's not here. He tweaked his back lifting weights.
Correct.
But I couldn't tell who he was talking about. And then a couple minutes later, he said Mitch, blah, 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 blah. So I'm assuming that's who he was talking about. Okay. So now it makes sense. Okay. All right.
He was talking about Mitch Wishnowsky. Later on, he was saying that he's not too concerned about it. But that for right now, they'll put him on the non-football injury list because it happened outside of camp. So he'll be up there for weeks, and they'll work out a cornerback. They're gonna work out Terrence Mitchell. All right, cornerback. See, this is what I love. What's going on, everybody out there? I didn't even get a chance to say hi to everybody because I didn't know what the hell was going on when I got in here. But it's good. Mike is back to normal. He seems confident. He seems comfortable again. Everything is all good.
I'm just trying to chill out because I was upset to start the show. Y'all not gonna believe me when I say this. I'm a perfectionist and I love to improvise, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with the normal technical difficulties, not that crap that was happening at the beginning of the show. That's the stuff that bothers me. Like when technology is the reason that the show's not going the right way. It's one thing if I forgot to unmute and I'm talking, I'm cool with that, right? It's one thing if I hit the button twice and the intro played and stopped again real quick. I'm cool with that. I was tapping the buttons and I couldn't tell what was happening. My screen was just spinning. So that was why. But we are back. We are here now. Wayne,
I got a quick question before I jump into this, though. So, Mike, there's no punter. We don't need a punter in training camp, I'm assuming.
I mean, they're probably not working on punt returns. It will be more about ball placements because they're not tackling right now. So, no, there's no need for one.
But even with the ball placement, I mean, don't you want your punter placing the ball at, he's not there.
Yeah, but that's something that he can work on his own. He can do that at a high school field. He can do that.
I mean, he was trying to lift weights on his own. I don't know if I trust him on his own anymore is what my point is. But no, I see what you're saying. So no need to bring in another punter, I guess. Just in case what if this injury lags on and then the Niners are going to have to do something. They're going to have to bring in a punter. Interesting.
He got an extension already, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Mitch got he did. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. And then look, Jacob Thomas says he's the holder too. But I thought the backup quarterbacks, we got 4 quarterbacks. One of the motherfuckers could hold the ball.
Bro, back in the day, it was always backup quarterbacks because
it was always backup quarterbacks.
It left the option for the trick play. Sometimes it was starting quarterbacks. So I don't understand why they don't do that anymore. It just lets them know, it's not going to be a pass. They're not going to fake it and go for 2 anymore. Like I don't know.
That's why I like when they have Mitch with Kyle Juszczyk out there because there's a possibility that something can go down, and maybe we see that change. Maybe he'll get reps. We'll see. All right, where do you want me to play this? I want to make sure it works.
Well, I just want it to be. I don't have the minute marker. So I was hoping that you could find that.
But we believe in that plan. So he's cleared without restriction. There will be some time off.
Do I need to go back for the question
and all that? Sticking to the plan. But the great news is Brock has worked his tail off and he's ready to go.
No. It's coming up now.
Will he be the quarterback who takes the first reps with this team? Will he be running with the first team offense?
He will when he's out there. The throwing plan.
All right, so pause it right there. Did you hear what he said?
He said, will he be the quarterback that takes the team with the first reps?
Okay, so that's the first question, and I'm okay with that. That's a normal question. They're trying to find out who is the first guy to get the first team reps of training camp. That's what they're trying to find out. That's cool. All right. Now you can fast forward probably about a minute or so, and there's another Brock Purdy question. But I'm sorry, it's not about Brock Purdy. Then it's about Lance and Darnold, but it's Darnold's name said first. It's the way they said it. It's these. You're supposed to be doing this without a bias. You're supposed to be asking these questions based off of the team's past depth chart, right? No one's asking, is Allen going to leapfrog Trey Lance? No one's asking, is Allen ahead of Sam Darnold? Why are you asking if Sam Darnold is ahead of Trey Lance? Go ahead.
So go a minute.
It's probably about a minute ahead, yeah.
To the point where Dr. Meister, Dr. McAdams, they felt
split it up that one day. Or
quarterback tomorrow will it be like the spring where you'll alternate Sam and Trey as with the ones?
Most likely. We're gonna go through that.
You can stop it. The answer's irrelevant.
So that is
why Sam and Trey?
Why not Trey and Sam?
They're doing that shit on purpose, and it's pissing me off. It's really, really pissing me off. And I don't want to sound like some guy that's like, oh, Mike, you just got a problem with all the beat writers. I don't. I think our beat writers tiptoe sometimes, but I like the questions that they ask generally. But all off season long, certain writers, certain well-respected members of our press have been saying it's Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. They don't even hide the bias on their own podcast. It's not tea leaves, bro. It's not tea leaves. It's straight up what they're saying. They're printing it. They're putting it in print. They're not even trying to hide it. And I don't understand why they're doing it that way. Do you?
I don't. I honestly, I can care less about all this subjective crap. I just want to see them out on the football field, and I want to see reps. I want to see the off-season field workouts that Trey Lance has done. In my opinion, he should be light years ahead of Brock Purdy because he's been able to throw. He's been able to, literally practice and things like that. Brock Purdy's coming off this injury. Trey Lance, in my opinion, should be ahead of him. I understand where Kyle is coming from. I understand what Brock Purdy did. I'm all good for the good. If he's quarterback one going into camp, he's quarterback one going into camp. But that doesn't mean he'll finish quarterback one. Here's the thing, I just feel like Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, any one of these quarterbacks that they brought in for what you said earlier at the beginning of the show. Literally a healthy competition. Right? And that's what you're going to get. So these guys are going to have to go out there and really bust their ass to do something. Is Brock Purdy in the league? Possibly. Should be. I don't care. It doesn't bother me that he is. But Trey Lance got to go out there and prove that this is why you drafted me. I told you this is why I'm here. And Sam Darnold, you gave me a chance. The competition is there, right? It should be really good, and it's not a solidified spot, but Brock, in my opinion, he has that lead, but I feel like Trey Lance should be well worked, well oiled, ready to go out there, make all the throws. There's no way I don't feel like Brock is going to make all the throws like right away. Plus, Brock is on a pitch count, and these other guys aren't. So it's going to be interesting. Go ahead. That's what, according to Kyle.
Right. The pitch count, though, isn't a pitch count in practice. It's the number of consecutive practices.
Right.
So when he's out there, he's going to have the full day of practice.
But you know why it's that? Remember when Trey Lance was drafted and he was practicing, and then he ended up with that dead arm?
The arm fatigue. That dog leap to the press.
Yeah. I'm telling you. So it's cool.
They don't want him to overwork that arm. I get that. But I don't think he's in trouble for that, only because what people don't remember is that Trey Lance was getting ready for the draft. He went out there, the combine, did his thing. He had the pro day and all that, and it was nonstop throwing all these private workouts for the different teams. And then he jumped right into training camp and was still throwing. I think he was a third string quarterback for like a week, and then he was getting second team reps right away. So he had a serious off season or year of throwing. So people forget that he didn't play that last year of school. So all he did was throw, just try to stay in shape, to try to stay sharp, and then preparing for the draft and all that stuff that I mentioned before. So I'm not worried about the fatigue for those reasons for Brock Purdy, but he's still recovering. They said they have a program in place and they're going to stick to said program. So we'll see. It's going to play out. Here's what I will say, and I'm going to say this every opportunity I get. A successful season for the 49ers this year, to me, this is going to sound crazy, has nothing to do with wins and losses. It has everything to do with when the season is over, you know who your quarterback one is going forward for the next 5 years. That's all I want. That's all I want. Because they'll get wins with somebody. They'll get wins with these quarterbacks. I want to know who the franchise guy is going to be going forward. That's what I want. To me, that's a successful season. Right now, it's still up in the air. We can sit here and try to say, oh, well, they said Brock Purdy's ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they did say that. But they also drafted Trey pretty high. They also brought in Sam Darnold, who was drafted the same spot that Trey Lance was drafted in. So I want to know who the guy is going forward. And I'm okay with who it is. Y'all can say, I see the people in the chat, that's Brock Purdy. That's Purdy. That's fine. If it's him, whoever they name the starter, we got to rock with him.
Facts.
That's the way I feel.
And I feel the same exact way. I know people feel like I have this agenda and I'm pushing Trey Lance and I'm actually pushing the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if you pay attention to anything that I'm saying, but whoever is going to be that leader, that's who I'm gunning for. And if that person can't continue to lead for whatever reason, the next person up, I'll be gunning for that person. The 49ers, to me, just are in a better space and a better opportune time because I feel like they can win with 3 out of these 4 quarterbacks that they have on this roster. Even Sam Darnold, I feel like the 49ers have a better chance of winning. I tell you what, it's 10 times better a chance of winning with Sam Darnold than it was with Josh Johnson. And so, at the end of the day, I feel like the 49ers are like, listen, we're going to bring in these quarterbacks and we're going to have a competition. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, it's going to be a competition. I don't care if Brock Purdy is quarterback 0-1. It doesn't matter. Trey Lance has the mindset he's not going to lay down. I don't know why I don't even think Sam Darnold has that mindset either. That's why this is going to be interesting going forward, because you just brought in 2 guys where their careers may be over. If Trey Lance don't do anything this year, it's a possibility he ends up out of the league in the next 3 or 4 years. And Sam Darnold, this is it. So this is going to be fun, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy it all.
With that said, you said that you're not necessarily cheering for Trey. Let me be clear. I hope Trey Lance is the guy. Just like I hoped Jalen Hurd was our.
I didn't say that I wasn't cheering for him. I said that I'm not pushing this agenda.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, I want it to be Trey Lance.
Absolutely.
But if it's not, I'm still cool. I want the team to succeed. And I don't think people should feel afraid or ashamed to say who they want it to be. And if it's not the guy you want it to be, here come the people. See, unfortunately, we're here where it's 200 people watching what the 2 of us are saying, right? So it's, haha, you were wrong. Haha, he was right. That's what's going to end up happening when you're on this side of the camera.
Understood.
It's not that I was wrong or right. I want it to be Trey, but if it's not, I'm okay with that also. I'm getting behind whoever the guy is. So there was more media today, and this is why I wish I had everything working. I had all this stuff marked in my phone. Did you hear the pressers? There were 3 players who spoke today.
I didn't get a chance to hear any of the players. My power went out, and I was just, trying to service my batteries because I didn't know when it was going to come back on. So, no, I didn't get a chance to hear the players.
Well,
I heard some of the sound bites, though, from the players.
It was Christian McCaffrey, Talanoa Hufanga, and Fred Warner, right? Here's what I thought was great about that. Fred Warner was asked a question. I want to say it was Grant, but I'm not 100% sure. And they said Jimmy Ward has been a leader for a long time in that secondary. With Hufanga taking his place, is he the leader now? Is he a leader back there?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Fred answered that question?
Saying he answered it to where he finished as an all pro, like he's gonna be a leader. I feel like that's what Fred said. Maybe am I wrong?
It was the most polite no I have ever heard in my entire.
Really? He was like, hold your britches, young fella. Like hold
Yo,
your.
it was, oh man, I wish I had the minute markers and all that stuff. I wish I wasn't on my phone because that's where my notes are. But it was, if you pull it up over there on your side and just listen for it while I'm talking, I'm sure you could find it. But basically it was, you aren't a leader just because you got a starting role.
Wow.
He was like, those things are earned. You don't just become a leader because you're inserted on the team.
But I wonder if the question was more like, do you feel like he can see what I'm saying? Like, cause like I wonder, maybe he should have, whoever asked the question, maybe they should have asked it in that type of manner. Like, do you feel like he can step into the leadership role, like not necessarily replace a Jimmy Ward or his leadership role that was earned? But I think Fred responded the right way, right? Like it has to be earned. Like you're born a leader, but people got to see you that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so like maybe that's where he was coming from with it. I'm trying to get the soundbite.
While you look for it, I'm going to answer this question from Albert Soto. He says here, I have a question that I'm not understanding. Trey and Purdy had battled it out last season, and I'm assuming Trey had won that battle for starting week 1. So what makes you think he won't do the same? So this is wrong, Albert. Purdy was 4th string guy who beat out Nate Sudfeld to be the team's 3rd string guy. So they talked about the reps. They talked about how Kyle said he got 3 reps. I'm assuming he meant 3 reps with the first team as a rookie. That's not a lot, which also means they're not even considering you. It was never a battle between Trey and Brock Purdy, ever. So no.
But I don't think, I think if I'm not mistaken, I feel like where Alberto's coming from, and correct me if I'm wrong out there, he's just pretty much saying, like, you know, Purdy. I get where you're going with this. Purdy didn't get the opportunity to battle to battle for the number 1 spot.
Right.
I think that's where you're going.
Yes, it's not a knock on him at all. By the way, it was just, if you're asking if he had the opportunity to compete for that position, the answer is no. He had an opportunity to compete for a roster spot, and he won that. But at the start of the year, they straight up named Trey the starter. Like at the end of the season before, they said going forward, this is Trey Lance's team. They said
Correct.
that they were trying to get rid of Jimmy. They
Correct.
couldn't, so Jimmy stayed around as the backup. They didn't know, they expected Sudfeld to be here, and then it didn't work out. So no, it was not a competition last year. They did straight up just give the job to Trey Lance. So and that's okay. It's okay to ask those kind of questions if you didn't know, the answers. That's absolutely okay. Or were you able to find the?
I mean, I have it, but I can't listen to it at the same time because it's coming through. You'll hear it. So
you want to share it then, and we'll just find it.
With everyone.
Sure, it's playing now.
I think what makes a great team, and I've always talked about it, just kind of like having that healthy competition out there on the field amongst everyone. I think we all breed just the best out of each other when we're out there kind of getting after one another. And I'd probably expect the same this year.
I've announced it on his Instagram story.
Oh, him? Oh, well, good luck.
That was about Brandon Ayuk with the, if you in white, good luck, or it's up for something like that.
Yeah, I think the relationship is really good. Given obviously we've only spent a limited amount of time together, but I really like what I've seen so far, and I think he's going to do an amazing job leading the group. From day one, he kind of like set the tone, set the standard of what he expects out of us, and has been just super humble about wanting to continue to do what we do and learning the system, even though it's not something that he's used to, which, I mean, I think that speaks volumes in itself. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really fun just getting to know him even more and work under him.
Jimmy was such a key leader in the secondary for such a long time here. With him no longer here, do you see Talanoa sort of filling that role as a leader?
Yeah, I think it's something that's kind of organic, something that organically happens throughout training camp, throughout the season. I don't think it's all on Huff's shoulders to be the guy all of a sudden. I think
See, Mike, he ain't make it sound as bad as you did.
committee in that room.
Mike, you are trash, bro.
Wayne, rewind it. Don't pause it and run it back a couple seconds and listen to what I said. I didn't say that he dumped on him. I said it was the most polite no ever.
But it's not a no because he started off with saying yeah.
You know, so he didn't say yeah. You didn't listen to what he said.
He did too say yeah. He said yeah. You know, it's something that is all right.
Wait, hear me out. The yeah was okay, I'm in. So pause it. No, pause it again. There's plenty of times where people say, hey, did you buy a new car this year? Would you signed a new contract? Yeah, I haven't really figured out which car I want yet, so I haven't purchased it. The yeah isn't the answer to the question. It's what follows. The yeah is the transition into the answer.
That's a dumbass transition.
But that's what people, people do that.
No, they don't. Like he does that, and that's dumb. And I'm gonna tell him that's dumb. You don't start the transition. You can say that's a transition.
Is unprofessional, and people with media
and so is because is setting up for some type of false narrative.
Okay. Now, hear me out. When you hit play, I want you to get the whole thing of it, right? And we're not going to cut him off until he's finished. And you tell me that he didn't say no the most polite way possible.
Set the standard of what he expects out of us, and has been just super humble about wanting to continue to do what we do and learning the system, even though it's not something that he's used to. Which, I mean, I think that speaks volumes in itself. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really fun just getting to know him even more and work under him.
Jimmy was such a key leader in the secondary for such a long time here. With him no longer here, do you see Talanoa sort of filling that role as a leader?
Yeah, I think it's something that's kind of organic, something that organically happens throughout training camp, throughout the season. I don't think it's all on Huff's shoulders to be the guy all of a sudden. I think it's going to be leadership by committee in that room, especially with him, Gibb, Mooney, all the older vets in that room. I think that's kind of going to work itself out naturally.
Mike, it was he didn't say no and he didn't say yes. He just felt like he said that all the weight. The good thing about it is that because of the veterans in that room, the weight doesn't have to be put on his shoulders. If he happens to become a leader, then he'll be that leader. So that's why he said yes. There's a possibility for him becoming a leader. Mike, I love you, bro, but you like that might be a polite no to you, but it was a polite open-ended answer to the question.
It was no, he's not a leader yet. He hasn't earned it. That was the polite. That's what he just said.
Or you could be like me and take it as no, he's not a leader yet, but he has the potential to become one.
He literally says, I'm not putting that on him right now. It happens organically.
He says we don't have to. He didn't say I wasn't putting that on him. He says you don't have to put that on him. He didn't say I. He said you don't have to put. He said the good thing about it is you don't have to put it on him. Mike, whenever I go to jail, please be my attorney.
If he thought that Huff was already the leader, he would have said, yeah, absolutely. We saw his play last year.
Nah, because he's not gonna say that about this young cat. You're talking to a all-pro savvy veteran out here. He's not.
Are you talking about Hufanga?
I'm talking about Fred Warner.
Oh, you see what I did there, right?
I see what you did. I know he was an all-pro. I ain't stupid.
But my point. Go ahead.
But what I'm trying to say is, if this was somebody like, it sounded like he ordained Gibson the leader. I wonder why. Because he's a veteran. And so he just kind of shied away from the young kid going into his third season. It's all good, Mike. It's a polite no. That was your take. It's a polite no.
I really wish people heard words for what they mean.
But you can't tell.
You can't come out and say no, he's not a leader. That's disrespectful.
He didn't come out and say yes, he was a leader. He answered it politically correct to where it's still open-ended. So however you interpret it, that's your interpretation of it.
And my interpretation is no, he hasn't replaced Jimmy Ward as a leader yet.
Okay.
And it will happen when it happens. That's what I heard. I don't know how anybody else heard anything different. I swear, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I like the answer. I like the answer.
I'm not discrediting his answer. I'm not saying that it was wrong. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I just don't get the polite no. I just felt like he left it open for him to improve. That's like saying, is Trey Lance the leader of the team? Is Brock Purdy the leader of the team? They're not the leader of the team, but they have the potential to go out there and lead this team, and then they'll earn it. So, like, you know, they.
Can I ask you a question?
I feel like if I was asking the question, I wouldn't have asked the question to where he was going to replace him in a leadership role, but I would have asked, does a young player such as Talanoa Hufanga, who finished as an All-Pro, have the ability to be a leader on this squad?
And you know what Fred would have said? What? Yes, he has the ability to be a leader, but we don't just give those designations out. They have to earn it.
So going back to the beginning of this show, it's the way these questions are posed.
Yes. And that is super duper important. But I thought that question was very direct. Is he taking over that role that Jimmy Ward left vacant? And he said, no, he doesn't have to yet. It's organic. Organic means that
it'll happen when on its own. Yeah.
Exactly. It will happen. Not that it has happened. If it already happened, the answer would have been a simple yes. He's very much a leader. He's very much well respected and blah 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 blah. Where if you listen to Hufanga later on in that presser, well, earlier, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say later because he spoke before Fred. If you listen to Hufanga, he's talking about how he leans on the veterans like Gitt. He leans on those other veterans. So that tells you right there that no, he's not a leader. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is not a knock on Hufanga. This is not saying that I think he's a bad player. But Fred answered the question straight up. It will happen organically. That's exactly what he said. It was a polite ass no. He's not a leader yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do I come off as insulting to the players when I do things like this? I'm on my phone, bro. You nodding your head?
I am. I think in the words of Drake Jackson, it's a little harsh. But if you got polite no, cool. I guess I'm not getting the polite no. I didn't get a
yes out of that.
I didn't get a yes either. I got an answer to where like he can become something organically. It'll happen when it's time. So I guess that's no. I guess. But it's not a polite no. I don't. But he didn't say no either. So he said he said it can happen. He said the fact that you have guys in there like those veterans to lean on. He didn't say that he leans on those veterans. He said that they're there. So to me, they're crutches now. It's time to move on. Like it's time to let them crutches go, because that's the only way you're gonna find out if this kid is the leader that he is, if he has that ability. And I believe he does. I said earlier on the not this stream or whatever, but a while ago I said now you're going into year 3, and now you got a guy like Steve Wilkes back there. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the year Talanoa Hufanga gets to kind of call out the defense in that secondary. He's going to be responsible for the communication. We saw him have communication issues last year, and I think that was mainly because Jimmy Ward wasn't there, and then you get the new Gibson back there, and they didn't really build that language, that the communicative language between the two. It got better over time, but I think him and Jimmy Ward were going to be lights out in that secondary.
I agree with what you said there. I am going to remove this video from the stream. All right, we are back. We are back in the thing here. All right, man. As far as anything else that came out today, man, we heard from John, we heard from Kyle. Again, we heard from a couple of players. The good news is, this is just a quick recap, Brock Purdy is ahead of schedule. If you guys watch this channel or our Patreon, we actually released that information about a month ago, that Brock Purdy was very far ahead of schedule. When people were talking about him throwing towels and all that, he was about 3 or 4 weeks ahead of schedule at that time because he wasn't supposed to be throwing yet at that point. So we released that information a while ago. Wayne, I want to ask you about training camp. I want to ask you about this team. I want to ask you about your position that you are most excited to see a competition at, excluding quarterback. I am all quarterback talked out. Can you tell me another position, another player maybe that you are going to be keeping a very close eye on? You want to see how they develop and if they can carve out some sort of role for the team this coming season, not in the future, but this year. Can you give me something like that?
Yeah, I'll start on the defensive side. You know, we lost linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, so I feel like this year, who's going to be on that? Who's going to play that Sam linebacker, the strong side linebacker? I really have really good things to say about Marcelino McCrary Ball. I was telling everybody last year, you know, if he can find a way to crack, the roster on this team, he can potentially be some type of playmaker. I know he's tiny, but he can play the linebacker. He has safety skills. Like these are things that the 49ers kind of covet when they look at their linebackers and their safeties. Are they hybrid? Can they play both? And then you started to see, like, when they gave him that 1 year guarantee out of all the future players that they signed for future contracts, he was not one of them. They signed him to a 1 year deal, and I'm like, yo, this kid's gonna show up and show out. And then in OTAs and minicamp, he showed up and showed out. So Marcelino McCrary Ball is a kid that I want you guys to keep your eye on. Will he up jump? You know what I'm saying? Oren Burks over there for that linebacking spot. The guy that's going to start in the base defense. We don't know if the 49ers are going to play a lot of base because it depends on if these teams come out in 3 wide receiver sets. That's when you put the nickel out there. So we'll see how it happens. But in base, I'm really thinking he's going to be out there. He's a special teams guy. And he just lights stuff up. He makes things happen. So Marcelino McCrary Ball, MMB, is somebody I want you guys to pay attention to. So that linebacker room. And then on the offensive side, contrary to the linebackers, I'm going with my favorite position, which are the running backs. You know, a lot of people are like, it's Christian McCaffrey, and everybody's forgetting about Elijah Mitchell because everybody's like, oh, he stays hurt. Okay, fine. But then you got Jordan Mason, you got the TDP, right? And then you got this kid named Kaylan LeBourne, right? And Ronald Awa as well. Like, there's 2 undrafted guys that are trying to make this roster. And Bobby Turner has a knack for finding running backs. And now that he's in the same room, him and Anthony Lynn, you got to remember, Jordan Mason is an Anthony Lynn guy that's not a Bobby Turner guy. This is going to be interesting. I feel like Walt might be a Bobby Turner guy, and LeBourne might be an Anthony Lynn guy, or vice versa. So I think the running backs room is going to be dope. Christian McCaffrey is your 1, Mike, but who's going to be that 2? Who's going to be that 3? And will the 49ers keep 4 running backs this year and have Juice as the 5th, as the fullback? So I got those 2 rooms, man. Linebackers, running backs. Go figure. Because them linebackers, man, they're going to have a tough time covering these running backs in the passing game.
Well said, man. Well said. I think one of the positions that I'm going to be watching really, really hard is wide receiver 3. Now, hear me out. I know Jawan Jennings is kind of penciled in there, but the team started using Ray McLeod a lot more in certain formations and downs and distances. Is it possible that a guy like Gray, can Danny Gray make a name for himself this offseason and learn to refine his route running and not just be that downfield threat that people have him penciled in as, right? Are they sleeping on his ability, or do they involve him more with slants? Right, we wanted to see some slants go to him and let him just use that speed and accelerate down the field. Right, that's what we were hoping we saw from him, but we really didn't see a lot of that last year. So that is another position that I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to. Another one is, I have 2 of them on the offensive line. This is going to sound bad. Center. I don't think center is as locked as people think it is. So right now, what's the general consensus for the center?
Brendel.
But he got a really, really late deal, and the Niners even let him touch free agency. That kind of worries me. Hear me out, right? Here's why I say it kind of worries me. If he was your guy, if he was your guy, wouldn't there have been like a big extension for him?
Not necessarily though, Mike, because you got to remember this guy was a journeyman in the NFL, and he came up, uh, you know, and found his way. I feel like by default as the center for the 49ers, and struggled a little bit at the beginning of last season, finished as a Pro Bowl alternate. And so, yeah, you let him test free agency. You let him see if there's going to be other teams biting. So the Niners did their due diligence. They played him. He got better. People seen him. Does anybody want him? Okay, no, here's your deal. This is what we got for you. So the Niners control that whole situation. But I think on the back end, they did two things, and I see where you're coming from, because they drafted a kid named Nick Zakelj, who they kept active all last season. Now the question is Zakelj trending upward? We won't know until training camp, but that's the question, because if they feel like there's going to be a big burst for him, Zakelj still won't play at the center position unless there's an injury to Brendel. But there's a possibility where you see the replacement of Brendel and why that contract was kind of like a friendly contract. It helps Brendel out. It's the most money he's ever seen in his career as an NFL player, and it also is in favor of the San Francisco 49ers. And then they doubled down and brought in an all-offensive lineman to replace Daniel Brunskill and John Feliciano, who I feel like can play center. He can play guard. He can probably even play some tackle if you needed him to. He's a dirty, gritty dude, a nasty, powerful guy. And so this is a guy that can be all over and serviceable on the offensive line for the 49ers as well. So to your point, I feel like Brendel took less money to be here. He likes the community here. He likes the culture here. Not sure where his other deals were. I don't remember off the top of my head. But
Miami? Was it Miami? It was a team with a system like ours.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he chose San Francisco.
He did, but here's what worries me. He chose us, right? What you're saying should instill confidence in me. But what if he didn't choose us? What was their plan? And that's the same thing with the right tackle position for me, right? They said that they were very upfront with Mike McGlinchey. They said, we probably can't afford you in free agency. So because of that, what they do is this team is smart. This team is way better than any of us podcasters, right?
Absolutely.
They know the whole list of free agent right tackles 2 years down the road. And they said, hey, Mike, you know what, man? Your money is coming. You're going to be probably the top right tackle on the market. And when the dust settled and the smoke cleared, he got the biggest right tackle contract, right? And so what they told him was at the beginning of the season, not my words, their words, not my words, Mike McGlinchey's words, and later on John Lynch's words, was that they pulled him in at the beginning of the season and they said, hey, we are going to see if we get offers for you, because we already know we can't afford you later. Not that we're shopping you. Those are two very different statements. But we're going to see if we get offers for you. We love you, but we know we're not going to be able to afford you and that nice-ass check you're about to get when you hit free agency. We're not going to disrespect you by tagging you and making you stay here longer than you want to, which tells me the same thing that it tells me about Brendel choosing the Niners. They had a backup plan. And that's what's exciting, but also makes me really nervous. So you lose Mike McGlinchey. You were prepared for that. So who are you putting in there? And then you also let Brendel possibly leave. You also put that in there. So those are two positions.
But they had to, because he was a free agent.
No, yeah.
And he was unrestricted. So
you're talking about Brendel?
I'm talking about Brendel.
Yeah, well,
so
Brendel, yeah, I got you.
So they had to let him go out and
I mean, they could have tagged him. They could have increased their offer, but they weren't
gonna tag. The 49ers don't even use the damn franchise tag.
Yeah, okay, that's true. So forget that. Let's throw that away. He got a higher offer according to him.
According to him, he got a higher offer.
He got a higher offer. Why didn't they try to match the offer?
Because they didn't have.
Why didn't they try to match it? Why didn't they try to beat the offer? Because and I'm going to tell you the answer. Let me tell you my version of the answer. Because they had a plan B already. If you were not afraid of this guy leaving in the offseason, you had to have had a confident plan in place to replace him. You had to. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. And I think they had a plan B and a plan C. But at the end of the day, they didn't have to match the offer because he wasn't restricted. That's number one. Number two, they didn't have to match the offer because, like you said, they probably had a plan B and plan C. And number three, there's no other team out there that's going to give him the opportunity that the 49ers are going to give him. He knows exactly what this system is. This is the team that believed in him, right? Listen, hear me out. This is a team that believed in him. They pulled him off of some scrappy team and put him up in here and gave him the opportunity to become a starting center in the NFL. So I'm not saying he owed the 49ers one, but if that team believed in him and believed that he could be something that he felt like he could be, then his loyalty is with here. So he said F the money.
Can you pull up his contract? I'm gonna talk for a little bit because you said no other team was gonna give him the opportunity that the Niners were going to, and I like what you said. He knew the 49ers center situation better than all of us. He knows who was on his heels, who was behind him on the depth chart. He knows what was going on in practice, who was looking good and who wasn't, right? But we have to not choose to ignore the fact that he came here for less. I want to know if the Niners' new contract for him was starting center money. Just yes or no. I don't know what the center market was, and off the top of my head, I don't even know what his contract was or is with the Niners.
So Jake Brendel signed a 4-year deal for 10-8.
Total or per year? That's got to be total.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's his base salary is 10-8. His per rate, so it's 16.5.
Wait, his base salary is $10 million
for the 4 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like total.
Okay.
So okay. I think the contract is 16.5. No. Hold on, let me read this. Here, let me just share it.
Okay, I'll pull it up then. I'll pull it up. And make sure you zoom in on your screen. You know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll pull it up on here. Let me change the background real quick. So when I pull it up, there's no lines in the way. And I'm asking this for a reason, because if he ended up getting starter money offers, it could be lower tier starter money, but if he got, top 15 center money, that means that whatever the other offer was probably starter money also. You're not going to pay starter money to the guy that you think is a backup, which tells me that means he probably did have an opportunity to start somewhere else.
Yeah, like I didn't say he wasn't going to have the opportunity to start somewhere else. That's not what I said. I said the opportunity to be on a team was something special. He knew what was brewing here in San Francisco. When you see the Deebo Samuels, the George Kittles, the Christian McCaffreys, like there's no other team to me stacked talent-wise than the 49ers. And the 49ers are they were teetering the damn Super Bowl again. You go somewhere else, you might make a couple of more dollars, but now you're not even in contention of the playoffs, possibly. There's just so many other things that, that might not work in your favor. Whereas he can make money here, right? 16.5 is the number. That's the total of the contract, right? He can make that money. On top of that, he could be a part of a Super Bowl contending team. I think that's all I'm trying to say. Like, and
all right.
if he would have signed with the Jets, are they Super Bowl contending? I mean, now they added a guy like Aaron Rodgers, but then they re-signed their center anyway. That was one of the centers I wanted. Like, I thought we would go after him in free agency. I'm not sure what the other teams that looked into Jake Brendel.
This is starter money. This is not backup money.
No, I never said it was.
No. I wanted to know. I'm answering my own question. Sorry.
Okay.
I wanted to know if they offered him starter money or backup money. This is clearly starter money. And
now, Colton McKivitz It looks like it's more like a backup money. Like if you look at Colton McKivitt's
You're looking at
contract,
dollars, right? Right.
yes.
And so I guess what I'm saying is, if somebody gave him an offer for 4 years, $18 million, he was probably going to start there too. You're saying that the talent and the coaching is what kept him here.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all
That's why
gave me
he
the
chose.
opportunity. Y'all got me these offers. I'll come here. I'll take a little bit of hit on the chin. I'll earn my incentives here because I know you don't have a better backup than me. So I'll come in here and I'll earn it. So I understand what you're saying there. This is what I wanted to know. So this gives me a lot more confidence with Jake.
And look at his age, man. 31 years old.
That's young. That's young for an offensive lineman.
It is. They can play into their 40s, but
I mean, 38 is probably the cap that you want as an offensive lineman.
But centers can play. Look, he can play.
Yeah.
Undrafted guy, but this is where the 40 you're missed. Not you, but people miss the whole concept on how the 49ers do and move like they move just like that. Let me just, I'm circling this. Can you see me circling this right here?
I can't, but I'm sure they can.
Okay.
I'm on my phone. So.
Oh, my bad. Entry 2016 undrafted free agent. I want y'all to pay attention to that word, undrafted and free agent. Those 3 words right there. Like the 49ers, if you look at their roster, they find a way to find these players. You can call them diamonds in the roughs if you want, and they find a way to get these players to perform. They're able to offer them not low contracts, but contracts to where if he was a drafted center, this contract would have been so much higher, in my opinion. It would have been higher. They would have to offer him more money just for the simple fact that he was drafted.
Yeah, and people should not dump on Jake Brendel for being an undrafted center. One of people's most popular center choices is Jeff Saturday.
Yes.
Right? And Jeff Saturday was also undrafted. So
he was undrafted.
Undrafted by the Ravens. Followed Peyton Manning. Well, followed. He went to Indy with Peyton Manning, and
yes, sir.
That's his history. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and now he's on NFL Network. But when you what I'm trying to say is, it seems like the Niners have things just figured out. You said they're 2 years ahead of everybody else. Like they're 2 years ahead of themselves. Like they like and they just seem to have this formula, and it's working. And until it doesn't work, they're gonna keep going with it. And I feel like the Niners find certain players, they get them at these certain positions. Look at the running back situation. I know they're paying Christian McCaffrey, and you know what? They paying him because they have to. Like I guarantee you, they gave him what did they do? They gave him that restructured his contract for this 1 year so he can get the guaranteed money this year, right? What does that mean for next year, Mike?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he has guarantees next year also.
I don't know if it's as high as this year because they giving him they're paying him this year.
Right.
But remember, he wouldn't have stepped on the field without the guarantees. So the Niners know what to do. But listen, they got him in a trade. I brought that up to say they got him in a trade. They knew the type of contract he had. And listen, Christian McCaffrey is a transcending player in the NFL. There's probably not another Christian McCaffrey. There might be a different player that can do things. I feel like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey are one in the same. I feel like those are the 2 players that are most comparable that you can comp each other. They have that strength. They have that mindset. Them 2 guys. After that, you get into your Josh Jacobs and your Nick Chubbs. I think they're a little different type of running backs, more of running backs in my opinion. But when it comes to that pass catching element of the game, I don't think you've seen Christian McCaffrey on that level. So I feel like the 49ers were willing to pay that. But then look at the rest of their running backs. 6th round pick.
But that's how it has to be. So hear me out.
It does. Go ahead.
When you're getting elite at one position, everybody else has to be role players. It's not an option. The NFL is designed that way by the salary
cap. Correct.
It is designed that way.
But what I'm trying to say, Mike, is my point is the 49ers are figuring out how to hit on them role players. They're figuring out ways to get those role players to play their role, do their thing, and be productive. And, look, 6th round draft pick, what was the 5th round draft pick or 6th round draft? I can't remember. Elijah Mitchell. At the end of the day, fifth, sixth. At the end of the day, he can earn himself a contract in the NFL. See, you saying he can't. I feel like all he got to do, it might not be with the Niners, it'll be with a team.
Let me rephrase that. He can earn a contract in the NFL. If we're being literal, yes, he can earn a contract.
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting top 20 money though.
Oh, I never said he was going to get top 20. I said he can earn a contract.
He's been too injured too often. Yeah. He's been too injured too often. He got injured in the offseason.
He did, but they also said he was good to go.
He was cleared today. Yeah, they announced that he was cleared now, but he got injured in the offseason. Like, no, he's not earning.
Or he might not have got injured in the offseason, and it was a lingering injury from the last season, and it was just still.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And you know, I was watching his first game back. It was 2 or 3 nights ago. I believe was it the Raiders game? I watched the Raiders.
That couldn't have been his first game. That was
I watched the Raiders. I watched 3 games the other night. It was the
Cardinals
Raiders,
game, maybe
the Cardinals, and it was Raiders, Cardinals, and Washington.
I think his first game was the Cardinals. That was when we were in Mexico.
In Mexico, yes, that's the one that I watched. And they said that he's just getting back, and they didn't give a shit that he just got back. They were running that man.
but no, Mike. To be fair, it was the way they were utilizing him. It was Christian McCaffrey,
and then the whole next drive.
Then the whole the
next 2 drive. Yeah. I like that.
But if you can keep him substantially healthy, I feel like the 49ers can go with a 2-3 headed running back monster. I know it's taboo, but why not? You have the bodies.
Sure. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, between the tackles, Elijah Mitchell is a way better running back
than he is outside. You better talk about it.
Than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
He is a better running back now between the tackles than Christian McCaffrey.
Well, he's more of a running back. Like, I'm not saying McCaffrey's a scat back, but McCaffrey, he's a dancer. Like, he's more finesse. Whereas Mitchell's going to try to, he has a little power. And I'm not saying McCaffrey doesn't have the power, but his body isn't the same, right? It's a different body. And for McCaffrey, listen, how many times last year we was like, God damn, stop running him up the middle. We shouldn't even be saying that about a running back, right?
I don't like when we get on the same page. Let me try to stir the pot a little bit more. Talk to me about this right tackle position. Wayne. I have this stupid ass theory in my head that I can't shake. They approach Mike McGlinchey. Hey, you're going to get a lot of money. We can't afford you. If someone offers us a trade, if it's the right trade, we're going to let you go. Who was going to be the right tackle for the 49ers last year? Whoever that is, I think they're the ones that we need to be watching in preseason, and not
Colton McKivitz.
Because they also were a little hesitant to, all right, Colton, come on.
I think that the 49ers, when it comes to Colton McKivitz, I feel the 49ers believe they have a player that can play left and right tackle. That's what you call a swing tackle. And now you're going to predominantly ask him to play one of the tackles, which is going to be the right tackle, because there's no way in hell you're going to move Trent Williams over to right tackle, right? It's just not going to happen. But we're not going to talk about Trent Williams because I know how you feel. But to Colton McKivitz,
no, I'm not going to let you do that. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in the NFL, and I am damn glad he is on the 49ers. Don't say, you know how I feel, because it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. They think I don't like my man. And that is not true. But I will say this. If Trent Williams is on your roster, you better have a good backup, because he's not playing all the games every year. That's all I'm saying.
He's at that veteranship age where he could take the game or 2 or 3 off a season. Like, you know what I mean? But I think the 49ers, when it comes to the right tackle spot, I think they're confident in what Colton McKivitz can bring. There's a guy on the roster named Leroy Watson that I feel like will potentially make a name for himself in this training camp. There's a guy that they brought in last year. He is a tight
end converted
into a tackle. Right? Yes.
Okay.
Good job, Mike. One of the smartest people I know is Mike Andrews. I ain't stutter. But seriously, like, and so this is gonna be a guy that you're gonna want to watch out for. Now they also brought in a guy named the undrafted guy named Joey Fisher. So we're gonna see how this battle pans out. Mike McGlinchey's gone. Are you saying that the right tackle was on the roster last year?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. So if you can pull the list and tell me who was here last year.
Well, just tell me who you think the right tackle was last.
No. I never figured it out. And that's me being completely transparent with you and the viewers. I never figured out who was in the building that they were confident with letting Mike McGlinchey just go.
I honestly thought the right tackle was going to be Spencer Burford.
So, okay. All right, we here. All right. So I thought that, and I talked myself out of it because I never saw him take a single snap at tackle, other than actually he did it in preseason like a couple of times.
Yes.
Right. And I talked myself out of it. But then I kept looking at, why do they keep pulling Burford in the middle of these games? How many times has that happened throughout the season where they just randomly say Burford no, and they send Brunskill in there? And I'm
it was the moment Brunskill was deemed and cleared to play. The moment he wasn't cleared in the first few games of the year.
Yeah.
But the moment he was cleared, he
never beat him out. It was a rotation.
It was a rotation.
Burford would start every game. Every single game Burford started. And then all of a sudden they start a new series and Burford's on the sideline. And I'm like, why? What are they doing?
I think it was more of not overloading the rookie at the position. I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense if you think about
a pitch count.
Yeah. It's kind of like what the Niners do with young players. I mean,
saw the same thing with Drake Jackson. They said they liked his production. They saw what he was doing, but he lost his legs down the stretch. And that's why he ended up being inactive for a couple of games. He ended up not being able to play. So they put our guard on a pitch count
because
series.
Because they had the luxury to, though, Mike. I think if they didn't have the luxury to do so, his ass would have been out there, bad legs and all.
So if you're telling me that Burford is supposed to be the right tackle, then who was the right guard? Because now I'm just confused.
I think
because Brunskill's not here anymore, is he?
No. So you're talking about going into this season.
Yeah,
I think they signed Feliciano to play guard.
I thought Feliciano was a center.
Center guard.
Oh, this gonna be this. See, and
offensive line trench warfare is gonna be fire, bro.
Yes, every snap in the entire preseason is going to be critical.
And we didn't even name like the third string guys,
or that dude that they picked up from Oakland, Pryor.
Right? Which might be who's the right tackle.
No,
I didn't say he was going to start.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No,
okay.
No, it's not. We're gonna stop right now. I said Raiders. He came from the Colts. And I thought he played for. He was drafted.
I knew who you was talking about. Nah, I don't think it was any Raider in him.
Are you sure? Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm thinking about the quarterback Pryor that played for the Raiders. Remember the young black kid,
Richard Pryor, son?
Nick. Oh,
I don't know who you talking about, but you're probably right.
Richard Pryor is the comedian. What are you doing, Wayne?
I said son. I added the word son because I know
his son though. But
it could have been his nephew, his cousin. Remember Huggy Bear's son used to play football.
What was his name? Terrell Pryor. Yes.
Terrell Pryor.
Good job, Hosway. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. But bro,
you never know. They could have been related, bro.
All right. I can't definitively say he's not related to him, but nah, this dude Pryor's not it, man. He is not it. I know that we saw the Niners get him. We saw the Baldy clip come out saying how dominant he could be. But bro, I hit up Colts fans. I have a cousin who was a Cowboys fan that lives in Indy, and he said, Mike, I'm almost willing to let go of my Cowboys fandom and go full-blown Indy because I just like it that much. It's here. It's all around me. It's pretty cool. And I hit him up and I asked him, hey, man, tell me about this guy. He was like, you want him as far away from your team as possible. He said, I've never seen the team want to make a player work so bad that they let him play any position on the line he wanted to play. And none of them worked out. Not a single one of them worked out.
Well, maybe he was playing for the Colts. They suck, and he was just in the wrong system. So some guys are just system fit. And this kid may be able to come in to San Francisco. Excuse me, this guy, he may be able to come into San Francisco and find a way on this roster. We got a super chat contribution from Jeremiah Smith. He says Alfredo Gutierrez at right tackle. And thank you for the super chat contribution too, by the way. You get the foghorn for that. Alfredo Gutierrez at right tackle. What are your thoughts on Alfredo Gutierrez, bro?
He is a guy with 100% roster exemption, right?
Yes.
Like it's 90 plus one international guy.
Yes.
It's 53 plus one international guy.
Correct. He's automatically going to be on this team.
If he takes a snap for the Niners at right tackle, the season's over.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he played across, seas, and he's been in the 49ers system for a few years. Is this going into his third year, if I'm not mistaken? So he's there. He's out there working out. It's hard to make an NFL roster. I know the Niners have him, but does he fit? Will he fit this roster? He kind of reminds me of what was that lineman we used to have, Trent Brown. He's kind of big like Trent Brown. I think that was his name. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But he's going to be on the roster, and let's see what happens. Let's see how he comes out this offseason and training and this training camp and see what he does to perform. It might be something good. But thank you for the contribution, Jeremiah. We truly appreciate it. But the offensive line, not just the offensive line, guys, the trench warfare is about to be lit. I'm telling you right now, that defensive front, those rotational guys, Kevin Givens, Cleveland Farrell, like all these guys that probably won't start will get rotational minutes at the edge rushing, the interior. They're going to be going up against this offensive line. We're going to see, how these guards play against Javon Hargrave. This is going to be dope. Eric Armstead, will he have Dino way? Oh man,
how much time you got?
I got a few more minutes.
A few is in 10. A few is in 20.
A few is in 10.
All right, I'll save it. I got a take that I've been wanting to talk to you in particular about. And it's about Hargrave. You mentioned his name, and I was going to go the whole show without saying his name because as soon as I hear his name, it's the first thing that pops into my mind. But
why do I feel like it's not a good take? It's a take, but it's not a positive take.
How do I feel about Eric Armstead? Me. Do you know?
How do you feel?
Yeah. Like my take on Eric Armstead.
I don't remember.
It's
not a traditional.
He is one of the most underrated defensive tackles or players on the 49ers. I think he's extremely valuable. I think that he's better than fans give him credit for because of all the different things he has to do. They don't quite understand it.
Okay.
That's my take on Eric Armstead.
What's your take on Javon Hargrave?
I think Hargrave is an Eric Armstead clone. But
as far as not getting the credit?
No. As far as what he's really good at. I don't think Hargrave is a pass rusher. I don't think Hargrave was brought in here to get double-digit sacks. I think Hargrave was brought in here to be like and with Eric Armstead in the event that the other Javon doesn't hold up.
I disagree slightly. I think Hargrave Hargrave gets pressures. That's what he does. He's a short, stout dude that can get up underneath these offensive linemen, something that Eric Armstead struggles against too because of his size. Like they're different. But I do think the attention that Hargrave is going to draw is going to allow Eric Armstead to play on an all-pro level again. because Armstead was seeing those double teams. Now you bring in Hargrave. Hargrave might not get the sacks like you said, so you might be 100% correct. He didn't get all the double teams in Philly because they had to double team. What's the other big dude they got? They still got him. Fletcher Cox, and then the edge rushers, right? It's gonna be a little different. He's gonna start seeing these double teams, right? I think Armstead is gonna have a field day. It's gonna be almost like it was with DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead. Like I feel like that is the role of Javon Hargrave. I need you to boost this guy back to where he was, because Eric Armstead inside.
Agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm disagreeing with how you went about like.
I tell you what, let me ask you this, and I want you to think as critically as you can. Javon Hargrave over
Is it
under
Javon or Javon? I want to make sure
Javon. Okay. It's Javon Kinlaw and Javon Hargrave. So
yeah, but they're spelled the same.
They're spelled exactly the same. Javon Hargrave over under 6.5 sacks for this season. Now, while you think about it, let me tell you why I feel the way I feel. Okay, everything that you just said. Right? Armstead had that one double-digit sack season. One. And it was when he happened to have Bosa, Buckner, and himself on the same D-line. Okay? Hargrave has one double-digit sack season under his belt, and it was last year. Thank God Armstead wasn't in line for that re-up right then and there. We skipped a year, and I think he ended up with like 5.5, 6.5, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and then he got the extension. I see very, very similar production as far as pressuring and getting to the quarterback out of these two players, and nobody wants to talk about it. Everyone is thinking Eagles, defensive line, Super Bowl bound, blah 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 blah. He's better than Eric Armstead, and I don't think so.
It depends on how you define better. I think he's more of a natural pass rushing defensive tackle than Eric Armstead is. That doesn't mean that it's just because of the way that their bodies are built and the way they're able to use their weight and moves to shed blocks. And I feel like that's what makes him more of a stout it gives him more of a pass rushing deal. Whereas Eric Armstead can get you double digit sacks for sure, but it's because of the attention that it's going to take. So I feel like Hargrave is going to end up you leave Hargrave one-on-one, I guarantee it's a sack. See, I'm guaranteeing sacks. You leave him on a one-on-one, guaranteeing he's getting pressure to that quarterback, and 9 times out of 10 it's a sack.
Let's play this out. And I'm not going to disagree. I shook my head no. I take the no back, okay? Tell me the defensive line that gets Hargrave a one-on-one.
What do you mean, like with the 49ers?
Yeah. Tell me the front four.
Tell
me the front four that warrants him being one-on-one.
You're going to have Nick Bosa out there. He's probably going to get the tackle and the tight end. So that's 2-on-1. I think they're going to double Hargrave. They're gonna crash in on him and try to take him out. So he's not gonna get it. But and then you have Eric Armstead on the other side, and then you got Drake Jackson on the end. So I don't think you'll get the one-on-ones with Javon Hargrave. I don't think you're gonna get that.
Fucking mute. So you think Armstead is gonna get the one-on? You think that if a team says we got to double team two of these guys, Bosa and Hargrave, and leave Armstead and Jackson one-on-one?
So yes, that's what I think. But the Niners can manipulate it because they can switch Armstead and they can switch Hargrave to where they line up on the opposite side. So it's forcing the offense to figure out. It's not going to be an overload on one side where you're going to put all these blockers. Now, if I put, let's say if I do Bosa, Armstead, then I do Hargrave and Jackson. Now now you're forcing their offensive line to figure out who to double, how to double. I think it's in favor of the Niners, but at the end of the day, I think Hargrave gets more of the attention on the doubles.
I think it is more dangerous for the NFL to leave Eric Armstead with the one-on-ones. I think when the dust settles, I think Eric Armstead has more double teams than Hargrave at the end of the season.
All right.
Which, if what you're saying is right, will still bode well for us. They're going to be in trouble.
Either way, it's a win-win.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This is for the greater good of the team, Mike. Like, but at the end of the day, I just think Hargrave is going to get that attention. One, he's coming off of that double-digit sack season. Armstead isn't. So just coming off of that ferocious defensive line over there in Philadelphia that got to the Super Bowl, I think that particular fact is going to automatically command and demand like the attention. So when Armstead start winning his one-on-ones and get to the quarterback, see Armstead. So I love Eric Armstead, but he can't be a bitch out there no more on the football field. Like at the end of the day, if you see a quarterback, you slam that mother sucker to the ground. I don't care who it is. Like he had a wide open safety. What are you talking about? You giving me that look on Dak Prescott, and he was scared he was gonna get a penalty, and he didn't tackle him.
Okay, and what was the result of the play?
It doesn't matter.
What? Yeah, yes. That's all that matters.
No, Mike. That's not
literally all that matters.
It's football. He had an open hit on the quarterback. It would have been a legal hit, and he chose not to do it.
Why? He explained why at the presser.
I know he explained why, but that didn't mean it was right. He still had he had a legal, not an illegal hit. It was legal.
No. Legal. Listen to me before you hear me. He
had him in the end zone for a safety.
He was upright. Where's the aiming area for quarterbacks?
He could have got him down.
Where's the aiming area?
He could have got him down.
You're not answering my question at all. Where
I don't know. I'm not going to answer your question because I don't know.
Can you hit a quarterback above the shoulders?
No.
Can you hit a quarterback below the knees?
No.
So we know the area is here.
It's the midsection, Mike.
Okay,
and he could have wrapped, he could have wrapped his arms right around him and took him to the ground.
He was upright. Listen,
Mike.
Just hear me out.
No, you're right.
Upright.
You're right.
If there's one owner in the NFL that has,
you're right.
Wait, if there's one owner in the NFL with the deepest pockets to pay off the refs or to pay for a call, who is it?
You're right, bro.
It's Jerry Jones, right? So let's take the incomplete, and they have to punt. Versus chancing, hitting him, getting that flag, and that drive is sustained. And by the way, the Niners literally won that game on the last play of the game. So no, I think he made the right call. I think he made the right call.
You could think he did, and I'm gonna think he didn't. So that's fine.
Now, with that said, do you know my favorite defensive lineman play of the whole season? It was Eric Armstead.
Okay.
His best play was against the Raiders on the goal line, 4th and 1, when they went for it, and he went through two guys and still made the tackle from his knees. I've never seen Hargrave do that before.
Different bodies.
Yeah. That's my point. Okay, very good. Different body types, which is why I think it's more dangerous, to leave Armstead in the one-on-one, because as long as he stays low, his legs are so long and he's so strong, he's gonna blow through any one-on-one.
Yeah, but if he don't make if he's scared to wrap and tackle and get a flag, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, it's true.
I know it's true. I know it's goddamn true. That's my point. This is fucking football. You wrap and you tackle. If you get the flag, oh well.
He's 6'8", dude. He can't just come down when you got your.
It's not about coming down. All right, Mike. All right.
Hear me out.
I got you, bro.
Before you say it's not about coming down, when he was pursuing Dak, he was upright because he thought Dak was about to throw the ball. How hard is it for a guy 6'8"?
I don't know.
6'3", 6'4".
You ain't 6'8", and only he know. I guess at the end of the day, he should have. He had him in his arms. He could have easily just pulled him down to the ground. It was an incomplete pass, so it was a win-win. I get where you're going with this, but at the end of the day, the object is
the safety would look better.
It's not even about the safety looking better. It's about, like, at the end of the day, It's football. So refs are going to call what they want, when they want, how they want. How many times we saw late hits being called and we were like, dang, that wasn't even a late hit. But to the refs, it was. You're saying Eric Armstead felt like he didn't want to leave it up chance to the refs. Fine. I'm not going to discredit that. I'm not going to argue with him for that. But, man, that was a safety. Let them make that tough call.
What is this? What core player did I just discredit?
Nobody.
I haven't discredited. I've been complimentary of every core player on the team this whole episode.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
No.
Oh wait, does he have Hargrave penciled in as a core player?
Could be. But you didn't discredit Hargrave. You
No,
just said
I just said I think
you
Eric
felt
is
like
better in the one-on-ones. I think Eric will be better in the one-on-ones this year, and I think he'll get double teamed more. That's not a knock on Hargrave at all.
Well, that's my thing. If Eric, I think Hargrave is going to demand the attention in the beginning, right? And it's going to allow Eric to showcase that he's just really great and dominant in the one-on-ones. And if he does that, that means it relieves the tension and it shifts it. And then Hargrave, they pick your poison. You had to get better on the interior pass rush. It was the number one thing the Niners needed to do in the offseason. There was you guys can cry over the left, the right tackle position all you want. They needed a interior motherfreaking inferior interior. That's what they needed. And they got it. Because I know y'all crying about Kinlaw, who I think has a damn good season this year. It's something different about the Kool-Aid he drinking right now. And I think it's Kool-Aid.
Okay. I like it. And I think you summarized my thoughts extremely well. Teams are going to have to pick their poison on this defensive line. You can't double Bosa, Hargrave, and Armstead.
It's not enough people.
You can't, because now you got a free rusher on the opposite edge. You can't do that. That takes 6 people. You can't do that. You can't commit 7 people to stop 4.
You can, but then good luck.
Right. So the Niners have an abundance of talent on that defensive line. And this is going to be my last question. We'll get out of here. We'll probably wrap it around the 145 mark. We're at 141 right now, barring the first 10 minutes of the show that were fluff. But still, Tony's biggest position to watch, his biggest position of concern was actually who was going to get the reps opposite of Nick Bosa on the other end of the defensive line. Now, the Niners did go out and get former first-round pick that a lot of people kind of stopped talking about in Clelin Ferrell. They have their own pick 99 in Drake Jackson. They have some other guys out there as well, Hyder, right? Some people are thinking that maybe defensive end 2 could have a solid season for the 49ers. Is this going to be a position that you watch and grade carefully throughout preseason?
Absolutely. I mean, you want to know who is going to be help opposite end of Nick Bosa. I think to me, as decent as Charles Omenihu and Samson Ebukam played, I thought they were 2 different edge rushers, right? I thought one set the edge. I thought Ebukam set the edge very well, and it was really hard to bounce outside and on the run. And I thought Omenihu was better at the pass rush. But again, the production, you know what I'm saying? It was 4.5 sacks, 4 sacks, 8.5 sacks between the 2 of them, which is damn near Nick Bosa, damn near doubled that and more, right? So the thing is, what can we do? I think the 49ers are really trying to get that one guy that can kind of, and hear me out, resemble what D Ford was supposed to do on this edge. Now, Drake Jackson, he might not have that speed, but he definitely has the bend. And I think you bring in these other rotational guys that can give you a little bit more speed. Robert Bill Jr. definitely has the speed. This is the draft pick this year, 5th-round draft pick for the 49ers. He has the speed. We don't know if he's going to have the size, but he does have the ability to get back there to get to the quarterback. So I got my eye on that opposite end, but I think it's going to go to number 99, the 99 pick, and Drake Jackson, number 95. I really feel like the kid's coming into camp healthy. He's coming into camp in football shape. He just makes plays, man. How do you put a player out there? How do you not put a player out there, Mike, that makes plays? Will Cleveland Farrell upgrade? I feel like any defensive end or any defensive lineman that comes in here and works with Chris Kosaric works. I like he figures them out. You said you don't, and I
don't feel that way.
Okay.
I think our defensive line was really bad last year. I think they were overrated.
Stopping the run, maybe.
No. I think they were decent against the run. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. I think our defensive line was heavily overrated. I think people credited how good our secondary was because of the defensive line, and I didn't see that. The more games I go back and watch, now that the emotions are out of it, you're not watching it live anymore and all that, the more games I go back and watch, the pass rush itself was very iffy. I think we owe that secondary a lot more credit than what we were giving them. And I understand that people say Chris Kosaric is this genius. He gets the best out of guys. And I think Kerry Hyder has a lot to do with that, right? I think Hyder's first year here, people are like, oh, my God, look at what he did. Like, look at what Chris Kosaric did with Kerry Hyder. And then he went to Seattle, and they cut him. Like they weren't interested in him at all after giving him that contract, right?
Yeah, but to Kerry Hyder's defense, they also asked him to play inside and outside. When he first got here, he was just an edge rusher. And Nick Bosa ended up getting injured that year, so he really was able to showcase himself that particular season. So he got the pay. But then when they asked him to change up his role, that's why I think maybe Kerry Hyder has a bounce back if he's able to find a way to crack this roster. And he goes back to that role. He's not a younger guy anymore. If he goes back to that role where he was just opposite end, rushing the pass rusher, he has the ability to still do that. And I wanted to correct. Ayo Jacobs, you're right. I said inferior interior. I meant superior interior. Thank you for the correction. Inferior interior sounds way better though, but it doesn't.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want you to start flipping on me. I
was going to flip on you. It just sounds better because of the double I. But superior interior is the correct way to say it.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So, that's where we are right now, man. Listen, man, this has been a fun show, Wayne. I appreciate you jumping on, man. I miss you. Normally, we start the shows with "How have you been? What's been going on?" But we started the show with "I want to turn it off." So we didn't.
You started the show with "I want to turn it off."
Yes, that's true.
I said, Mike, you're not turning it off because you're here.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters.
I'm excited. We finally get to discuss real current 49ers news.
Real stuff, man.
News. No more speculate. I mean, we're still going to speculate along the way.
Yeah, but it's good. It's stuff. We have stuff to speculate off now. Like,
yes,
we're not stretching one thing dry anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Great times. So great times to be.
I want to thank you for jumping in here and making time. I know that you guys were in the middle of a power outage over there. I was ready to go solo. Then my stuff didn't want to work. You held me down, and you encouraged me to keep the show going, man. This was over. It was over before it started. So that's a team.
That's a team.
That is kind of the core, the essence of the 49ers. Hey, y'all are down over here. I got you right now. And you did that. And I think we bounced back pretty well. I think we gave people something to talk about. I think we gave people something to hate on. I think we gave people something to applaud. That's a good, well-rounded show, man. So, Breezy, I want to go to final thoughts, man. I want to give you the floor. You let me know what your final thoughts are. We're going to get up out of here.
Hey, guys, the season has begun. Training camp is taking place, and the 49ers are ready to take off. Look, it's all on them. It's how they come out. It's how they prepare. I feel like this team has that mindset. You see how players are coming into camp. They're a lot different than how they came into camp last season. This team has a lot to go out there and prove. They left maybe getting beat by Philadelphia was the best thing that ever happened to this team. That's my final thought.
All right, guys. Y'all know where to find us. Y'all know where to follow us. My final thoughts are going to be this. This is a dare. I dare you guys to go into whatever music streaming service you have and type in FTTB. If y'all don't know what that stands for Faithful to the Bay. I dare you guys to go to Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, whatever it is that you have your music playing through, and type in FTTB. Once you do it, come back to the comments and let me know what you find. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you guys, man. Y'all have been phenomenal. Y'all have been great. Wayne.
Yo.
Let's go home, man. You ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful, y'all.
We out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Oh, shit. I lost the exit music.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but niners. Niners.